Give the call to the member for Flynn.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister for Environment and Water. So far, the Minister has failed to rule out requiring farmers and landholders to undertake cultural surveys for agricultural practices on their private property as part of federal cultural heritage reforms. Why won't the Minister rule it out?
The call to the Minister for the Environment and Water.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I am so delighted to get this question. In fact, I was getting a little bit worried that we weren't going to go back here today, so thank you.
Order.
Mr Speaker, I have made super clear, each day I've been asked this, we are not about to adopt WA laws or the laws of any state or territory. We are about reforming our cultural heritage laws as a Commonwealth government in the same way that those opposite were previously in favour of doing this important work. And I have to say, credit where credit is due. The former Minister for the Environment began this work. She did begin this work, and she made some very important statements about this. She said in 2021, more than 2 years ago, and I quote, "In the wake of the destruction of Indigenous sites at Juukan, we have commenced work with state governments and territories and traditional owners to highlight the need for the modernisation of Indigenous heritage protection laws." She also said, and I quote, "I am working with the First Nations Heritage Protection Alliance to discuss a pathway forward to better protect Indigenous cultural heritage." She also said in a media release, Juukan Gorge, and that it highlighted a wider need for the modernisation of Indigenous heritage protection laws in Australia. This year's budget included funding for an engagement process that will work closely with traditional owners. Oh my goodness.
All right, we'll just get the Minister to pause, and I'll hear from the Leader of the Nationals on point of order.
relevance, Mr Speaker, and to help the Minister, this is about farmers, not miners.
The Minister is being relevant. The question was about cultural surveys. Order. The Minister has the call.
The former Minister also said those heritage protection processes are not owned by the Commonwealth, they're owned by state governments. Again, we agree. So what we have to do now, and what I've already started doing, is working out how the states and Commonwealth can come together so we don't have gaps in cultural heritage protection. Now, so many great quotes from the former minister, but I want to share this around a bit, because the member for Leichhardt has done excellent work with Senator Dodson on leading those two Juukan Gorge inquiries. The member for Leichhardt has talked about the serious deficiencies in the laws. The legislative frameworks in Australia, in all Australian jurisdictions, he said, need to be modernised. Action must be a national priority. The Shadow Environment Minister, much more recently, has told the other place just last year those events Juukan Gorge, were so disastrous they made it very clear that comprehensive work needed to begin as a matter of urgency on modernising Indigenous heritage protection laws. The member for Cowper, thank you, member for Cowper, for his bipartisan support for this work. We are very pleased that the minister has now made clear that she, that's me, will be continuing the work that has already begun. This vital process he talks about.
The minister's time has concluded.